Now, there is a way to know if you're trusting God. There's actually a way to know. I mean, as believers, we can just simply say, oh yeah, I'm trusting God, you know. I'm living by faith. I read my Bible, I pray, and, you know, I'm trusting God. Who's going to know? Oh, there's a way to know. There's actually a way to know. In fact, it's in this verse. If you look very closely, notice the second half of the verse. It says not only trust in the Lord, but it says, and do good. Do good. Do good. You know what? God knows that when we are filled with anxiety and fretfulness and worry, that it actually paralyzes our Christian walk. Fretfulness will paralyze our Christian walk. All of a sudden, we just won't be able to do anything. Now, it can get really bad for some. Some people can worry so much about what's going on in society, what's going on in America, what's going on in politics. That's all they think about. So much so they're scared. They're living lives of fear. I've met people that are so scared of this world and so filled with depression and so filled with anxiety and so filled with fretfulness they can't get out of bed in the morning. They can't get out of bed. They can't get up. They can't get dressed. Kids are fixing their own meals, finding a ride here and there, wherever they need to go, because mom can't function. Dad can't do any of the things he's supposed to do. Other maybe he goes to work and comes back, but when he gets back, he sits in front of the TV and he watches the news and he gets more and more depressed. Can't sleep at night, can't get up in the morning. He can't function. Now you see, God knows this about us. He's saying this is what happens. You get to where you don't care about anything about what you're worried about, right? You don't care about anything but what you're worried about. You give up your responsibilities. You give up your marriage, your kids. I've even seen people lose their job. I've seen them lose their job because the only thing at work they talk about is what they're worried about. And the employer can't keep that around. I'm telling you, it's a bad testimony for a Christian. Christians are supposed to be trusting in a God who's in charge, a God who has all things in His hand. What in the world are we worried about? But now let me say something. You see, when you think about this, you realize that when God says, trust in me, trust in the Lord, faith isn't passive. You see, sometimes people hear me talk about this subject and they'll say, well, listen, the pastor is just, if I listen to him, then we shouldn't care about what's going on in the world. If I listen to the pastor, I guess he thinks we ought not watch the news. Oh, we shouldn't care about politics. We shouldn't get involved in social activity. No, friend. Real faith isn't passive. When you're really trusting in God, that doesn't mean you're not going to be doing anything. He's saying trust in the Lord and do good. True faith produces activity. You're not going to just all of a sudden, if you start trusting God, you're not going to be sitting on the sidelines or become a punching bag for society or stop caring about what's going on. No, you're going to do something. But it's not just that you're going to do something, it's the nature of what you're doing. You're going to be doing what? Good. You're going to be doing good. You're going to get up in the morning. You're going to comb your hair. You're going to get dressed. You're going to answer your mail. You're going to wash the dishes. You're going to go to work. You're going to live life. You're going to go to the beach. You're going to play with the kids. You're going to go to church. You're going to sing. You're going to be doing all those normal things of life. But it's even more than that. You're going to be functioning normally as a person. But it's even more than that. God is pressing an issue here. Here's what He's saying. You're going to actually be doing good let me put it this way, good as opposed to what? Good as opposed to, well, here's what God knows. If you fret too much about evildoers, if evildoers consume your life, eventually you're going to be doing what they're doing. That's what God knows. You're going to be doing what they're doing. See, there's only so much time you can spend envying someone or something until you're going to go into action to get it. You're going to say, God, I'm tired of playing by the rules. I'm tired of playing by, I'm going to start playing their game. And so you begin to compromise it a little bit at a time. You don't just wake up one morning and become an evildoer. You know. No. Doesn't happen that way. It's just a little compromise here, a little compromise there. And before you know it, that one person that you were so angry about for so long, for years, now you are that person. And what God is saying is that what He wants from us, what real trust, real faith is all about, is being able to get up every day and function for the glory of God. And you're fully aware of evil that's going on in the world, but you know deep in your heart that God has it under control. And that all things are working together for good for those that love God and are called according to His purpose. Therefore, even though you may not like it, you may not agree with it, you are trusting God with it. And if you're going to get involved, if you're going to react, if you're going to engage, you're going to do it through goodness, through godliness, through things that will glorify and honor God in this world. And when Christians begin to live that way, God's will begins to be accomplished in this world. So I challenge you this morning. What are you worried about? What are you worried about? What's been bugging you? What's been paralyzing you? What's been consuming your time other than God? Have you felt it? Have you felt it? Has it been breaking against your convictions? Wearing them away a little at a time? Let's ask God to forgive us this morning of fretfulness. And not just ask Him to take fretfulness away, but let's ask Him to replace it with goodness. Amen.